learn how to make these whipped candles with heart embeds. And honestly, these are some of the cutest candles you can make. We have a light pink candle base, fluffy white whipped wax on top, and pink and red heart embeds. They look like dessert, but they're functional candles. And I will walk you through every step of the process. So even if you're new to candle making, I'm gonna walk you through each of the steps to make your own whipped wax candle. We are making these in 3 parts: heart embeds, candle base, and the whipped topping. Step 1, heart embeds. We start with the heart embeds. I'm using an embed wax, which is designed to hold its shape better than regular soy wax. So with this mold, I'm worried that a regular soy wax might break when you're trying to unmold it. So make sure that you're using the embed wax. We are going to melt on a double boiler, remove from the heat once it's completely melted, and add our color. Now this wax wants to harden, so you can always at any point pop it back on the double boiler just to heat it back up. I'm going to be using an 8% fragrance load of champagne fragrance oil, which is my favorite of all of the scents. So of all of the fragrance oils that I've used so far, champagne fragrance oil is hands down my favorite of all of them. We are going to carefully pour into each mold, moving as fast as we can without overfilling them. Now I know this isn't easy. It's going to want to harden up on you. So remember, you can always pop it back on the double boiler, but we have to get as many of the embeds filled as possible. And it's not going to take long at all, and they're going to be completely cooled, and we can go ahead and remove them from the mold. Aren't these just the cutest little hearts you've ever seen? Completely worth the hassle. Now I have some red hearts that are left over from another candle that I made, so I'm going to be using those too. You would make it exactly the same as you make the pink ones, just with red candle dye. Step 2, prep your container. I will be using small mason jars for my candles. There's just something about like the rusticness of the mason jars with the prettiness of the candles that I'm just obsessed with. I like to clean my jars by spraying some rubbing alcohol and wiping them out with a paper towel. This removes any dirt or residue so the wick can adhere properly. We're going to attach our wicks with hot glue, making sure they're centered in each candle. This is super, super important because being off-centered is going to affect the way the candle burns later. So take your time here. Make sure they're perfectly centered. Step 3, candle base. For the base, I'm making 4 candles and I'm using 372 grams of soy wax. We are going to go ahead and melt it on a double boiler, making sure that you're stirring it as it melts. Now this is super important because if you don't stir it while it's melting, the wax can get too hot and it will actually affect your candle quality. Once it's completely melted, remove from the heat, and we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna add our color and give it a really good mix. When we are below 140 degrees Fahrenheit, which is my fragrance oil's flash point, we can add our fragrance oil. You are going to want to mix this very well for at least 2 minutes. This is so it has time for the fragrance oil to fully bind to the wax. Once we have it all mixed up, we can pour into our containers. Try to keep them even. I know it's not easy to do, but remember, you can always come back with the extra wax if need be. Then we just go in, we're gonna center the wicks with Sharpies, and we're gonna allow our candles to cool. Step 4, whipped wax topping. Now for the fun part, the whip topping. I'm using 300 grams of soy wax, and we're gonna do the same process. We are gonna heat it on the double boiler, mixing it while it's melting, pull the soy wax off. Once we're below the 140 degrees Fahrenheit, we add our fragrance oil and we mix it well. Then we're gonna wanna pour it into a mixing bowl. I don't mix in my pouring pot because using the hand mixer in the pouring pot could damage it. That's why I pop it into a mixing bowl. Now we wait. As it cools, you'll notice the wax start to harden around the edges of your container. This part matters. You need to scrape the sides and the bottom to pull that wax that's trying to adhere off and into the center of your melted wax. Now it can be a little stubborn, but it's what we have to do to get a whipped wax candle. Otherwise, it's just gonna harden to your bowl and it's gonna create a candle in there. We are gonna mix this in stages and you'll see the texture change as we go. At first it's liquid, kind of a soup consistency. Then we let it cool a little bit longer and we will come to a thicker, clumpy, soup-like consistency. As you can tell, it's nowhere close to where we need it to be. Go ahead, mix that with your hand mixer, and then we're gonna let it rest again. Then we're gonna come to more of a mashed potato consistency. Now in each one of these stages, we mix it with the hand mixer and you'll notice it changes. It's like it goes back a stage each time you mix it, and that's completely normal. Mixing with a hand mixer really makes all of the wax be the same temperature. So even though it feels like you're going back a step, you're not at all. We keep going through this process until it starts to thicken up. Always make sure you mix it really well with the hand mixer before you check the consistency. We're going for a consistency that is thick. It holds its shape when you drag the spatula through it, and it doesn't fall off the spatula very easily. It is kind of the consistency of a frosting. Now, although I don't agree with going by temperature at all, it is the most asked question in these types of video. So here's the exact temperature when my whipped wax was completely ready to go into the piping container. Again, it's consistency that matters, not the actual temperature of the wax. Step 5, piping in embeds. This is the fun part. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna transfer our whipped wax into a piping bag, and we're gonna start to pipe it onto our candles. I'm just doing small blobs for a soft, fluffy, light look. Now don't go too high here. You still need to fit the mason jar lid on your candle. I've definitely made that mistake before. I made 8 of these candles and most of them actually got smushed a little bit on the top when I went to put the lid on. As you're going, you can add your embeds. I use the pink and the red and I place them into the wax. Now I kind of go back and forth. I do a little bit as I'm making it, and then I come back after all of the candles are piped and I just add them any place I think they need to be. It's not like your wax is gonna cool that quick and you have to either place them all right now or they're not gonna stick in. You have plenty of time. Now we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna let everything cool completely and then trim your wick to 1/4 of an inch. Put the lid on your container. Okay, this is risky business. This is why it's so important that we don't over pipe it too high or the lid's not gonna fit properly. And if you're placing any labels on your candle, this would be the time to go ahead, get those on there. You can wipe the outside of the container with rubbing alcohol if you need to clean it up a little bit before placing your labels. And we're gonna allow this to cure for a few weeks before it's ready to be lit. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't done so already, be sure you hit the like and subscribe button down below. And I have a secret time. So these candles are actually gonna go into my roadside stand where I have my cut flowers in the summer. I am super excited and a little bit nervous to put them in there, but I thought I would give it a shot and see how they do in the roadside stand. I made 8 other ones the other day. So I made one with just red and white, then I made one with a green and white, and then this is the pink and red to go with that. Well, the pink, the red, and the white to go with that. So I really hope they do well in the roadside stand. On my website, summerrain.website, I do have the full printable recipe. So all of the amounts that I use for my candles are on there. If you need more information on candle making, determining how much wax you need, etc., I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put on the screen another video that is going to be very, very helpful for you. I go over every single step in the process. I didn't want to bog this video down going over all of that again, but I do show you how to check for your wick size, how to determine how much wax you need, everything like that. So I will link that video. I'll also put it down in the description box down below. Again, I really hope you enjoyed the video. And let me know, what color candle do you think would be cute to make? So I've already made the red and white, the red, pink and white, and then a green and white. What other color combination could I make with these?